Guten Morgen, Klasse. We're going to talk about personal pronouns and verb endings in this video. Auf Deutsch, in German, heißt das Personalpronomen und Verbenendungen. We'll use the example lernen or to learn. First, you need to know what the infinitive verb is. This is the verb in its most elementary form. A dictionary definition would be the basic form of the verb without an inflection binding it to a particular subject or tense. So in English, when you have a list of verbs you learn, you'll see to in front of the verb, such as to go, to eat, to sleep, to fidget, and so on. In German, the infinitive is simply the verb with an en ending, such as lernen, to learn, gehen, to go, essen, to eat, schlafen, to sleep, and zappeln, to fidget. Secondly, in many languages, the endings of the verbs change depending on what person we're speaking in, as in first, second, or third. Does everyone know what's meant by first, second, and third person? If I'm speaking in the first person, I'm speaking from my perspective, as in I go to school, I drive home after school. If I'm speaking in the second person, I'm talking about someone else, as in you go to school, or you go home after school. If I'm speaking in the third person, I'm talking about someone or something else, as in he goes to school, or she goes home after school. Got it? Did you know that in English, we have a verb ending change which is in the third person? An example would be, I learn, or I have in the first person. But what would one say in the third person? He or she does what? Can you guess it? Sure, learns, or has. So we add an S to the end of the verb in the third person. In German and in many other languages, there are many more verb ending changes depending on if it is first, second, or third person, and if it is singular or plural, which means we're talking about one person or multiple. So let's go over the verb changes in German. This, by the way, is named verb conjugation. Can you tell me how to talk in the first person in English? Yes, I. What about the second and third? Ja, you, and she, he, or it. How about in the plural? Ja, it would be we, you all, and they. In German sagen wir ich, du, and sie, er, und es. Und Plural ist wir, ihr, und sie, for they. So how do the verbs change? Well, if we use the verb lernen or to learn in the first person, we drop the en and add an e, as in ich lerne, ich lerne. In der zweiten Person or second person, we would say du lernst, du lernst. In der dritten Person sagen wir, we say, sie lernt oder er lernt, sie lernt, for she learns or he learns, and es lernt, for our pets, it learns. What about when it's in the plural? In der ersten Person sagen wir lernen, wir lernen. In der zweiten Person sagen wir ihr lernt, ihr lernt. Und in der dritten Person sagen wir sie lernen, or they learn. So sie is both she and they in German, but you just get used to this by the context of the expression or of the sentence. Let's go over that one more time. Ich lerne, du lernst, sie lernt, lernt oder es lernt. Im Plural, wir lernen, ihr lernt, sie lernen. Kannst du es sagen? Repeat after me. Ich lerne, du lernst, sie lernt, lernt, es lernt, wir lernen, ihr lernt und sie lernen. Sehr gut. Let's take a look at some example sentences. Beispiele. Auf Englisch heißt examples. For the first person singular, meaning we're talking about only one person, ich lerne gern Deutsch means I learn gladly German. I say I learn gladly German because gern in German is an adverb and it means gladly. And so adverbs modify the verb, just as adjectives modify a noun. How do I learn? Gladly, or with pleasure, or happily. Second person singular. Du lernst gern Wissenschaft, or you learn gladly science. Third person singular. Lernt gern Mathematik, or he learns gladly mathematics. First person plural. Wir lernen gern Anglistik, or we learn gladly ELA. Second person plural. Ihr lernt gern Musik, or you all learn gladly music. Third person plural. Sie lernen gern Sozialkunde, or they learn gladly social studies. All right, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis später. Thank you for listening and see you later. Auf Wiedersehen.